Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler, and this is the third in 3 episodes all being recorded here at once for new stuff that's entered my collection, some of which are new releases, some of which were not, just in the last little while. There's not a lot to really cover for this series right now, because unless I buy some old stuff on the secondary market or something, there's not a lot of new releases really to speak of at this point. But it gives us a chance to dive into some things here, now that we do have a few things to show. So we looked at the Clone Wars VCD from Indonesia 2 episodes ago. Last episode we looked at the UK release, finally, the staggered release of the second season of The Mandalorian, and now we look at something a little bit different, but still continuing a product line that we've seen before. You might recall that at PAX West 2022, you could pick up this. This is the video game for Nintendo Switch, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the classic. I've got it in a protective sleeve, hence a little bit of reflection here. But it's from Limited Run Games, and it was this cool package that had, like, the game and a little steelbook for it, and it was all in VHS-style packaging, where it's even a slip cover over a VHS-style box inside. Very cool. Something that Star Wars home video collectors in some cases rush to try to get, along with game collectors and steelbook collectors, because it is kind of a unique form of packaging. This series is not about Star Wars video games, but when we see a Star Wars product that is using home video style packaging on purpose as sort of its gimmick, we do take a look at those because they're of interest to home video collectors. So we had KOTOR2, Knights of the Old Republic 1, show up at PAX West in 2022. And then, at PAX East, we wound up seeing another one. My favorite Star Wars game for a very long time, although unfortunately on Switch, which is an inferior version of it compared to, say, PS3 and Xbox 360, but whatever. The original The Force Unleashed here. Same kind of setup here as what we saw before, but this and this were the only ones until recently that existed, and until even more recently that I knew existed. But it turns out, yes, or, well, I was wrong, no. Yeah, sure, there is another. Because at PAX West 2023, they did release another. So again, it was PAX West 2022, then East 2023, then for PAX West 2023, back around September, we had another of these, continuing actually the same product line as the first, which gives me hope that maybe they'll continue The Force Unleashed at some point with the second one being released in this way. That is this, from PAX West 2023, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, the sequel, the unfortunately last one in this series before they switched to an MMO style with the Old Republic here. Again, for Nintendo Switch, from Limited Run Games, in this limited quantity version, in VHS-style packaging. So let's take a look. We will find it is very similar to the ones that we saw before. So we have the logo here. We have our poster-style art here with the various characters. I think that's pretty cool. You know, Atris and Scion and all of them. Very cool there. Notice here that the top does just say Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords is down here at the bottom. They sort of split that down here. Then at the bottom, the thing that we typically see for limited run games is meant to sort of emulate the THX kind of stuff you might see at the bottom. It says Forever Physical with LRG logo here in the center. Okay. Then the side, we have the Nintendo Switch logo because this is a Switch game. Then we have the series logo again, title, Nihilus, LRG, Forever Physical here, Lucasfilm, and a teeny tiny product number underneath this, for what it's worth, is LR158. Effectively the same thing on the other side. The top is the logo again, with the Sith Lords actually underneath it this time. And then the back, Atris there, your different shots from the game and whatnot. We'll read that in a second. But Obsidian, that's the company that made it. Limited Run, who's putting this out. Aspire, the company that actually did this sort of a not remake, but a conversion, this port to put it on the Nintendo Switch. Then Lucasfilm, then your copyright stuff down here. Your languages, English, French, German, Italian, Spanish. And the size here, 50.9 gigabytes. And then a little product number type thing down here. The back reads, Choose Your Destiny. 5 years after the events of the award-winning Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the Sith Lords have hunted the Jedi to the edge of extinction and are on the verge of crushing the Old Republic. If you're wondering, of course, yes, this, like the other two, it is the Legends continuity. With a Jedi Order in ruin, the Republic's only hope is a lone Jedi in exile struggling to reconnect with the Force. Remember, at this point, the exile didn't actually have a name or even a pinned down gender or appearance or anything like that. All that information would later be pinned down within the Legends continuity, I believe primarily in the Revan novel as Mitra Surik being the character, a female Jedi character. Lead a diverse crew of unique allies, make difficult choices with far-reaching consequences, and decide your destiny. Then potentially complain about how certain parts feel unfinished or rushed after the fact, as everyone has for this one compared to the first one for years. Will you follow the light side and save the galaxy, or succumb to the dark side and bring it all down? I feel like somewhere K2SO is like, that's what you said, bring it all down. Sorry, love me some Rogue One. Favorite film right now. But then inside this, again, it's like a slipcover on a VHS. You have what is essentially a box formulated, at least on front and back, to be like a VHS. There's nothing on the sides at all. But the bottom looks like a VHS cassette, or the back, whatever you want to call it here. And then here's the front/top, again, looking like a cassette right up to the words on the flap here. The insert this side into recorder. Do not touch the tape inside. VHS. And then there's your label. Star Wars Knights of the Republic, the Sith Lords, the little thing there with the languages, Forever Physical LRG. Warning, copyright and legalese. Again, file size, limited run, Lucasfilm, Aspire, Expire, Obsidian, number 158, because that is in this limited product line, number 158. Not copy 158, but this is release 158 with the limited number. And product numbers and stuff down there at the bottom. But it is just a box. And inside the box is your game stuff. And again, it's kind of that weird situation where they want to give you the regular retail product, but also the cool little steelbook to go with it. So this is the retail packaging style. I say retail. LRG, even when they do these special ones, they do special physical releases in other packaging of the same games that are essentially retail design. Even if the games themselves, oftentimes the only way you could buy it outside of limited run games would be buying it digitally. So when I say retail in this case, I mean just like kind of the standard retail style Switch packaging. So we have something very similar to the original packaging way back in the day. So Switch up here, the Nintendo Switch logo, Star Wars Knights of the Republic 2, the Sith Lords, that familiar imagery there, rated T14 by the ESRB, Lucasfilm Games, and then limited run in the corner. And the standard Switch spine here with the Switch logo, the full title, limited run games down at the bottom with nothing else. Then on the back, we have a slightly different little, differently worded bit of information. I'm not going to read it off for you since I read the other one. And then a couple of images there from the game, but with text about, kind of cool features and whatnot. It does note here that you can play on the TV or with the little, with the Switch Joy-Cons taken off and the little screen as your TV basically, or together in portable mode, all as just one player no matter what. Legalese stuff here, warning, the various logos and whatnot here. More warnings. Licensed by Nintendo, made in Japan. Product number stuff. Nintendo seal of quality. UPC, limited run. That number 158 again. And the rating T for teen, which in this case is for violence, mild blood, and mild suggestive themes. What it reads here is, this time your choices affect everyone around you. It is a time of darkness, 5 years after the events of the award-winning KOTOR, the Sith Lords. Yes, it does say KOTOR without spelling it out. The Sith Lords have hunted the Jedi Order to the edge of extinction, and a lone Jedi Knight remains. You. As you struggle to reconnect with the Force, your decisions will lead you to the light or dark side, and will affect everyone around you. The fate of the galaxy is in your hands. And then what it says under the pictures is, unleash all new Force powers, feats, and weapons as you battle evil Sith, and then create your Jedi Knight and build your party from up to 10 characters. It is an RPG. Then you open it up, take the stuff out, and you've got your logo, and then your opening crawl here with nothing over here except for just a tiny bit of Starfield. The opening crawl, and I'm reading all kinds of stuff for some reason today. It is a perilous time for the galaxy. A brutal civil war has all but destroyed the Jedi Order, leaving the ailing Republic on the verge of collapse. Amid the turmoil, the evil Sith have spread across the galaxy, hunting down and destroying the remaining Jedi Knights. Narrowly escaping a deadly Sith ambush, the last known Jedi clings to life aboard a battered freighter near the ravaged world of Paragus. Kind of makes me want to play them again, but I'm told that, playing on Switch is not the ideal way to actually play these games, even though it's a cool way to own them, apparently. And then you got your instruction booklet. Rather long, fairly teeny tiny. The booklet itself is 37 pages here. You have the title in that similar image there. The back here with your legalese and the various company logos, but whoo, that text is really damn tiny. Whew, crazy tiny. And then you have your actual Switch game card here in standard style. So you've got Nintendo Switch, then the logo, then the rating, Lucasfilm and limited run games, and a product number type thing underneath. And as with any Switch game, there's nothing on any of the other sides or anything like that. It's just a game card you stick into the top of the Switch in case you want to play something that on a system that is certainly old from a generational standpoint, to play a game that's even older from a generational standpoint. And then we have your actual steelbook, a little teeny tiny steelbook, little Switch-sized steelbook. Okay. And it is embossed, which is cool. So all this gold you're seeing is embossed on both sides, but not on the spine, as I'm checking here. So we have Knights of the Republic 2, the Sith Lord, or Star Wars Knights of the Republic 2, the Sith Lords, framing with Lucasfilm Games, the image there like we see on the cover. A Spear or Aspire, I guess it's Aspire. It would make sense if it's a play on words, Aspire. Limited run, and then Lucasfilm Games, and that border here. And then it's just the title there on the spine in gold, the full title. And on the inside, Nihilus and Atris. And then you got your space for the instruction booklet and game card if you want to put them inside the steelbook as opposed to the standard case, but you do get both of them in the package. So a nifty little other way to get a pretty solid Star Wars game. I do think the first one is leaps and bounds better than the second, but I am certainly not alone in that. That is kind of the common wisdom on these. The original KOTOR is absolutely a classic. And then, as I almost drop it there, you got the cool VHS-style case for it. You've got the cool VHS-style slip cover to hold it all. Just be careful putting it back in so you line everything up and don't damage any of it. But, yeah, pretty neat way to have another Star Wars video game. If you play on Switch, you'll actually get some Switch usage out of the game itself. But even if you don't play on Switch, you prefer other platforms, or don't own a Switch, or don't play video games, or whatever, at least it's still a cool thing you might add to your Star Wars home video library. As always, your mileage may vary, because it all comes down to whether or not your home video library includes stuff that is home video adjacent, as we now tend to say within the community over there on the Star Wars home video group on Facebook. But I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's nice to have that along with those other two. I'm looking forward to more, and hopefully next time I'll know more about it going into it, so I don't miss it and have to pick it up on eBay for basically twice the price. Yeah, that was on me. With that, we'll wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers and the Star Wars gamers.